Listen closely. The world doesn't bend for your feelings, your excuses, or your fragile image of yourself. It's not kind, it's indifferent. And in an indifferent world, only one thing earns respect: power, quiet, cold, and undeniable. Real strength isn't measured by how much you talk or how clever you sound. It starts when you stop drowning in your own thoughts, when your mouth stops giving away your plans, and when your attention sharpens into a blade that cuts clean. Most people live as noise. Too many thoughts, too many words, nothing to show. If you want a different outcome, you have to become a different kind of person, disciplined, silent, deliberate. Be the one who watches while others perform. Be the one who calculates while others gossip. Be the one who moves precisely while others stumble in chaos. That's the threshold. That's where strength begins. That's how you become hard to read, hard to bait, and very hard to move. Every loose word leaks energy. Every scattered thought dilutes you. Every broken focus exposes you. If you want to rise, step into the discipline of less. Think less. Talk less. Focus more. That's the foundation of power. Here's a truth people hate. Noise is weakness. We've been tricked into believing that volume equals strength, that if you argue more and speak louder, you win. But lions don't roar to prove they're strong. They roar to end doubt. Until you master restraint, your words are chains. Every careless sentence is a blade you hand to someone who's listening. Every opinion you broadcast is a map to your vulnerabilities. The powerful don't hand out maps, they erase them. The man who can't control his mouth is already conquered. He gives away his desires, his fears, his intentions, before the battle even starts. That's the herd's fate. They overshare. They seek validation. They confess just to feel seen. You're not here to be one of them. You're here to become untouchable, to turn silence into a weapon and focus into a fortress. When you speak less, you control perception. When you think less, you reduce hesitation and chaos. When you focus more, you control outcomes. That's power, pure, steady, unshakable. Watch how people unravel when you don't react. Watch how they reveal themselves in the silence you give them. Watch how they waste energy trying to impress while you conserve yours to win. Train your tongue to obey. Train your mind to cut through clutter. Train your attention to move like a blade, direct, precise, final. This is where men separate themselves from boys, leaders from followers, predators from prey. Silence is not emptiness, it's strategy. Focus is an obsession, it's weaponry. The one who embraces both becomes inevitable. Write it down if you need to. Silence sharpens me. Here's the next layer. Focus is not optional if you want strength. Power doesn't come to men who scatter their attention across every impulse, distraction, and indulgence. It comes to the one who locks onto a target and refuses to let go. The average man is enslaved by his phone, dragged by cravings, whipped by emotion always moving, never advancing. He calls it living. It's really drowning with style. Become the opposite. Still where others are restless. Calculating where others are impulsive. Disciplined where others are slaves. Focus demands sacrifice. Cutting every habit that softens you. Every voice that distracts you. Every friend who drains you. Yes, it will make you colder. It will make you harder to access. But that's the price. The herd will never understand. They chase comfort and applause and call it happiness. In doing so, they turn their strength to dust. The focused man channels everything into a spear and pierces resistance. Machiavelli understood this. Most people are predictable, swayed by pleasure, steered by fear, blinded by distraction. The focused man is the exception. He can't be lured off course because his eyes never leave the objective. He can't be led because he charts his own path. He doesn't break because every ounce of him is aligned. Ask yourself, what would you become if you cut the noise, killed the weakness, and reclaimed the hours you waste? How dangerous would your potential be if your mind became a blade, sharp, unwavering, merciless to distractions? The world would have no defense. Understand, too, the mask. Everyone wears one. The weak wear masks they can't control, faces that crack under pressure. The strong wear masks like armor, composure, restraint, silence. That's not passivity. That's control. Speak less, reveal less, think less, hesitate less, focus more, strike with precision. Your mask becomes your shield, and behind it, you become untouchable. The average man exposes his soul on command venting, boasting, explaining, justifying. Every time he does, he becomes predictable. In a world of predators, predictability is death. The Machiavellian mind treats people as tools, weapons, or obstacles, but only after mastering the self. If you can't rule your tongue, you'll never rule a room. If you can't command your focus, you'll be commanded by anyone with a plan. So here's the first directive for this journey. Choose disciplined silence. Speak intentionally or not at all. Guard your inner world like a fortress. Cut the noise. Narrow your aim. Conserve energy for decisive moves, not for proving points. Let others broadcast. You observe. Let others posture. You prepare. Let others waste themselves on attention. You save yourself for impact. Think less. Talk less. Focus more. Start now. Let's dig into focus, the kind that feels ruthless, almost tyrannical. Power doesn't go to the man who samples everything. It goes to the one who commits, who locks onto a target and refuses to split his force. Distraction is the silent tax on your future. It charges you in minutes, then in momentum, then in meaning. The average person is controlled by impulses and screens, dragged by cravings and moods, always in motion but rarely moving forward. They call it staying busy. It's really staying lost. Focus is different. Focus is brutal because it demands cuts. You don't drift into focus. You enforce it. You trim habits that soften you, conversations that drain you, environments that scatter you, and yes, relationships that dilute you. That pruning may make you colder. It will definitely make you clearer. And clarity is where power begins to compound. The herd chases comfort and applause and wonders why their strength never accumulates. The focused man channels everything into a single, sharpened line. With that line, he pierces what stops others. Machiavelli saw it plainly. Most people are predictable. Pleasure moves them. Fear freezes them. Distraction blinds them. The man who keeps his eyes on the objective becomes the exception. He's hard to tempt because his taste for shortcuts has died. He's hard to lead because he has his own map. He's hard to break because all of him points in one direction. Focus trains you to endure boredom, to use patience, to wait for openings, and then strike only when it counts. So ask yourself a hard question. What would happen if you cut the noise for 30 days? Truly cut it. No aimless scrolling. No conversations that go nowhere. No late-night detours that sabotage the morning. What would you build if all your energy converged instead of leaking? People talk about potential like it's a myth. In reality, it's usually just misallocated attention. Now, about the mask. Because the world is a stage whether you like it or not. Everyone wears one. The weak wear masks they can't hold together. When pressure rises, they leak emotion, over-explain, confess everything, and give away the plot. The strong do the opposite. they wear their mask like armor. Restraint, composure, silence. This isn't pretending. It's containment. You don't suppress the fire. You bank it. You choose when it burns. When you speak less, you reveal less. When you think less, meaning you cut over analysis, you hesitate less. When you focus more, you move with precision. That mask becomes your shield. Behind it, you're hard to read and hard to play. The average man broadcasts his insecurities and then complains about being manipulated. He vents, boasts, and justifies. Every one of those habits is a breadcrumb trail. Predators follow breadcrumbs. The Machiavellian mind reduces the world to roles, tools, weapons, obstacles. Not because people are objects, but because strategy requires clarity. To deal with others effectively, you first have to master yourself. If your mouth runs you, you're already losing. If your focus is scattered, you're already being steered. Power begins with the mask, with the ability to look calm when your mind is calculating, to appear passive while your position strengthens, to reveal nothing until it's time to reveal everything. There's a reason silence is so dangerous in social dynamics. People can't resist filling it. Dark psychology points out a simple pattern when you leave space. Others pour themselves into it. They disclose fears to escape the discomfort. They over-explain to win approval. They justify to protect their image. You learn more by saying less. Watch people's micro-decisions, what they do when no one is watching, what they choose when judgment is gone. Habits are confessions written in action. Control is the core. Without it, you're a puppet yanked around by internal strings: anger, lust, distraction, ego. Most people call indulgence freedom. It's not. Indulgence is dependence wearing perfume. Real freedom is self-mastery. And mastery starts with ruthless control. Think less, talk less, focus more. These aren't slogans. They're switches. You flip them to kill hesitation, to stop broadcasting your next move, to channel force into one decisive action. Thinking less is about cutting mental noise, shutting down the commentary that talks you out of execution. Overthinking is just fear dressed up as intelligence. Talking less is about refusing to hand out information that can be used against you. Words are signals, and signals can be intercepted. Focus more is about aligning your energy until one mission becomes inevitable. When everything you do rhymes with your goal, resistance doesn't vanish. It collapses. Understand something Machiavelli made clear. People don't move for truth. They move for appearances, fear, and desire. Control what they see, and you control how they respond. That doesn't mean living a lie. It means directing the frame. You choose what's visible. You choose what's withheld. That's narrative control. There's a cost, though. Control is sacrifice. It burns away softness. It asks you to kill the lazy part, the needy part, the dramatic part that wants to scream instead of strategize. You learn to sit with discomfort until it becomes neutral, to be alone without feeling empty, to be silent without feeling small. That's how you build a presence that unsettles people without you saying a word. And when you reach that level, the room changes before you speak. People second-guess themselves around your calm. Your unpredictability forces caution. You stop reacting to life. You start directing it. That's control. That's power. Write this down. Your mask is not a lie, it's a filter. Use it. Guard your map. Conserve your force. And when the opening appears, move like you've been waiting for it because you have. Here's the truth most people never accept. The world doesn't reward desire, it rewards discipline. Every man claims he wants power, control, or success. But the moment discomfort appears, they fold. Why? Because they've built their lives around indulgence. They confuse pleasure with purpose, weakness with kindness, distraction with rest. They live as slaves to comfort, then wonder why life never bows to them. Power doesn't come to those who want it, it comes to those who endure for it. Discipline is the crucible where strength is forged. It's the fire that burns away weakness and the hammer that shapes you into something unrecognizable to your old self. The Stoics understood this. Pain, to them, wasn't punishment. It was training. Every moment you resist temptation, you sharpen your edge. Every moment you endure hardship without complaint, you build armor that no insult or failure can pierce. Every time you silence your tongue and hold your focus, you tighten your grip on control. But understand, discipline is not soft. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if you're tired, lonely, or misunderstood. Discipline is merciless. That's why most men run from it. They go back to pleasure, to distraction, to noise. Because discipline exposes who they really are. It forces them to look at their hollow resolve, their weak will, their excuses. If you want to rise above, you have to do what they refuse to do. Embrace the pain. Wake when your body wants to sleep. Work when your mind wants ease. Stay silent when your ego begs to speak. Discipline is the cold blade you press to your own throat. Obey, or be destroyed. Machiavelli would tell you, it's not enough to appear disciplined. You must be disciplined in truth. Appearance without mastery is a costume, and every mask eventually cracks under pressure. Dark psychology agrees. Men are addicted to shortcuts. They chase ease disguised as happiness. They want the illusion of growth without the cost of effort. When they see your restraint, they'll call you cold. When they see your silence, they'll call you arrogant. When they see your focus, they'll call you obsessed. Let them. Their reactions are confessions. Every insult they throw reveals what they lack. Understand this. When you begin walking the cold path, people will fall away. You'll lose the ones who need constant attention, validation, and chatter. They'll call you distant. They'll try to pull you back into mediocrity. Don't follow. The higher you climb, the thinner the air, and the fewer people can breathe beside you. Their weakness cannot mix with your strength. Their chaos cannot drown your silence. Discipline demands loneliness, and loneliness is not a curse. It's the forge of power. When the noise disappears, you're left face to face with yourself. No applause, no distractions, just your will. That's where mastery begins. That's where you start to hear the signal underneath the static. The disciplined man doesn't chase emotion. He commands it. He doesn't run from boredom. He uses it. He doesn't react to every impulse. He measures, plans, executes. He is unmoved by temptation and immune to insult. He is steady when others break, precise when others panic, calm when others burn. People feel it when he walks into a room, the weight of his control, the sharpness of his presence. They can't explain it, but they respect it. They submit to it, not because he demands it, but because it's undeniable. Discipline is leverage. When you're not ruled by anger, no one can bait you. When you're not blinded by lust, no one can seduce you. When you're not enslaved by distraction, your energy becomes unstoppable, flowing like a river cutting through stone while others scatter into puddles. The disciplined man doesn't need to shout. His restraint is loud enough. His silence speaks for him, and his focus terrifies those who depend on chaos to feel alive. Think of the herd. Endless chatter, fleeting goals, emotional outbursts. Then think of the disciplined man. Few words, precise action, ruthless focus. Who survives the storm? Who commands respect? Who bends reality to his will? Always the one who obeys discipline. But you must be ready for the cost. Discipline will strip comfort from your life. It will pull you away from the crowd, from noise, from instant pleasure. You'll be called cold, distant, even dangerous. Good. It means you're doing it right. You cannot be both comfortable and powerful. One kills the other. Discipline is the great divider. It separates those who merely wish from those who become. Most will never bear that weight. They want to be liked more than respected, understood more than unshaken, safe more than sovereign. Let them stay in the herd. You're building something different. Repeat this truth. Discipline makes me untouchable. That's not a quote, it's a command. Because the path of control isn't about punishment. It's about preparation. Every day you resist weakness. You add another stone to your fortress. Every day you choose silence over noise, focus over distraction, action over delay. You reinforce the walls. Power doesn't start with armies or wealth. It starts in your mind, stone by stone, built from discipline, silence, and unbreakable focus. That's the fortress within. The one no enemy can breach. The one that doesn't crumble when comfort fades. The one that stands when everything else falls. And if you stay the course, if you honor this cold path long enough, you won't need to speak of power. You'll embody it. Power doesn't begin with wealth, fame, or armies. It begins in silence, in the discipline of your own mind. Every man who's ever ruled anything, from kingdoms to companies, first conquered himself. The herd never understands this. They chase possessions, status, applause, believing those are signs of strength. But without inner control, those things collapse. Real power begins within. In the fortress you build out of silence, focus, and restraint. Every time you hold your tongue instead of explaining, you lay a stone. Every time you resist the urge to brag, complain, or justify, you raise a wall. Weak men reveal themselves constantly. They overshare, they overtalk. They tell the world exactly what they fear and desire. And in doing so, they hand others the power to control them. But the man who speaks less, who reveals little, who keeps his thoughts locked behind discipline, he becomes unreadable. And unreadable men are untouchable. Silence is not emptiness, it's command. It unsettles people because it forces them inward. They start doubting themselves, overthinking, revealing more than they intended. You learn everything you need to know simply by saying nothing. In a world addicted to noise, silence is a weapon, the purest form of power. But a fortress isn't made of silence alone. It needs structure, and that structure is focus. Focus is what gives your mind order. It's what transforms scattered energy into precision. Look around. Most men drift through their days, controlled by distraction, scrolling, gossiping, reacting. Their minds are like open cities, chaotic, undefended, without walls. But when you focus, when you channel everything toward one direction, you begin to build order. Focus is the refusal to divide yourself. It's the art of saying no not to others, but to your own impulses. It's understanding that your attention is your currency, and every wasted second is strength leaking away. The man who focuses builds momentum. The man who doesn't dissolves into mediocrity. Through focus, you build structure. Through structure, you build power. And then comes control, the roof of your fortress, the final seal that makes it unbreakable. Control means mastering what rules most people. Emotion. Anger must become a blade, not a bomb. Lust must become fuel, not a leash. Fear must become awareness, not paralysis. The average man reacts. The powerful man endures, calculates, and strikes only when it counts. Machiavelli once said it's better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. He wasn't glorifying cruelty. He was defining stability. The man who depends on being liked will always bend. The man who depends on no one can never be broken. When you no longer seek approval, you stop being ruled by it. That's what control gives you: emotional independence. When you master control, you become still inside chaos. People feel it. They sense your composure and call it mystery. They can't read you, so they respect you. You stop being reactive and start being inevitable. That's what the fortress produces: calm that radiates dominance. You don't chase influence. Your restraint commands it. Dark psychology proves something simple. People betray themselves without help. Give them silence and they'll fill it. Give them time and they'll confess. All you have to do is stay quiet, patient, observant. While others expose their motives, you stay behind your walls gathering power. But building this fortress has a cost. Discipline will isolate you. Silence will distance you. Focus will make you seem cold. Control will make you misunderstood. You'll outgrow people who waste time and energy on things that don't matter. They'll call you distant. Let them. You're not cold. You're clear. You're not detached. You're deliberate. Loneliness is part of the path. Don't resist it. Solitude is where strength hardens. The herd avoids silence because they fear themselves. But the man who can sit alone, still and undisturbed, commands himself completely. That's when the fortress takes shape. When peace becomes your default and chaos can't reach you. And once your silence is unbreakable, your focus relentless, and your control absolute, something happens. The world begins to move around you. People feel your presence before you speak. They tread carefully because your energy demands it. You no longer chase. You attract. You no longer respond. You direct. That's the essence of the fortress within calm, calculated inevitability. It's not about ego. It's about composure so deep that others bend to it. Most men will never build it because it requires death. The death of the weak self, the impulsive self, the emotional self. To become unbreakable, you must first become disciplined. So ask yourself, do you want to remain part of the herd, loud, reactive, and predictable? Or do you want to be the one who sits in silence, whose focus shapes outcomes, whose restraint bends the world? That decision defines everything that follows. Think less, talk less, focus more. Control yourself completely, because the man who masters himself masters all. My mind is my fortress. Power isn't the absence of conflict. It's mastery over it. The man who thinks less, talks less, and focuses more doesn't escape the world. He bends it to his design. Life, beneath its polished surface, is a battlefield disguised as civilization. Every interaction hides a motive. Every alliance hides a strategy. The weak pretend not to see it. The Machiavellian man plays it with precision. The first rule of domination is observation. Words lie, but actions never do. Watch people when they believe no one is watching. Their choices reveal their fears. Their routines expose their desires. Every gesture, every tone, every hesitation is a confession. Speak less and watch more. People will hand you the keys to their weaknesses. Knowledge is leverage, and leverage is the root of control. Once you know what a man fears, you can steer him. Once you know what he wants, you can bind him. The second rule is restraint. Weak men spill everything, their plans, emotions, and intentions. They brag, they threaten, they overshare. They give away their advantage and call it honesty. The powerful man conceals his strength until the perfect moment. He allows others to underestimate him, to reveal themselves first. Then, when he moves, it's final, clean, silent, irreversible. Restraint is not weakness, it's preparation. The patient man always wins the long game. The third rule is manipulation, not through deception, but through control of perception. People don't see truth, they see what you allow them to see. Appear strong when you want fear. Appear indifferent when you want pursuit. Appear weak when you want others to drop their guard. The world runs on perception, not reality. Control perception, and you shape reality itself. Domination is not cruelty. It's structure. It's understanding the two forces that drive all people, fear and desire. If you can't be both loved and feared, be feared first and respected always. Reward loyalty enough to keep it, but never enough to remove dependence. People stay loyal not from gratitude, but from need. Control that need, and they obey willingly. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. Most people don't want freedom. They want direction. They crave someone who moves with clarity and purpose. The man of focus and silence becomes magnetic because he embodies control. His stillness feels like authority. His calm feels like power. People follow him not because he demands it, but because his composure leaves no alternative. That's leadership, the kind that commands without words. But domination requires balance. Too much mercy leads to betrayal. Too much cruelty breeds rebellion. True mastery lies between stoic calm and Machiavellian precision. Emotion disciplined, timing deliberate. The world obeys men who embody both. And yes, power isolates. The herd will resent your composure. They'll misinterpret your silence as arrogance, your focus as obsession, your control as manipulation. Let them. Their discomfort is proof that you've risen beyond their reach. At this level, you no longer chase power, you become it. You no longer compete, you dictate. You no longer react, you direct. Power doesn't shout. It moves in silence, inevitable and absolute. Think less. Talk less. Focus more. Observe. Restrain. Command. Build your fortress within, then extend it outward until the world bends to your will. I command myself. Therefore, I command the world.